People don't have a great sense of direction, but that's okay. We'll show them the way. We'll show them the way.
All right, so the Kamala Harris campaign is spiraling out of control after Kamala's latest rally in Houston, Texas did not go the way that she wanted. For example, it was a bait and switch. They told people that Beyonce would perform, so clearly so many people showed up to watch it. She didn't perform. She only spoke for like 60 seconds. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but hear me out. So that led to people protesting during the rally and walking out. And then on that same day, you've got John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania, who's clearly accepting defeat is coming for Kamala Harris. Why don't we start with the bait and switch story?
We have some big news to share for the Harris campaign, and the Beehive, none other than Beyonce, will appear with Vice President Harris tomorrow in Texas, we're learning, and NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is covering the Harris campaign today from Georgia, where she's set to appear with Bruce Springsteen. Aaron, the boss today, Queen Bee tomorrow. What more do we know?
This is news that a lot of people have been waiting to hear, whether or how Beyonce might show her support for Vice President Harris. And we have learned from three sources our team has that Beyonce will appear with Vice President Harris tomorrow in Houston, Texas. And the source says that Beyonce will perform during that appearance in Texas, obviously where she's from.
All right, so you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a journalist to know that clearly this was misleading and a bait and switch. They clearly used the word perform. Beyonce expected to perform. Beyonce set to perform. Beyonce set to perform, right? I mean, these people, they know what they're doing. They did this at the DNC where people thought Beyonce was going to perform there as well. And so this is getting a lot of backlash. Now, before we get to that clip showing people doing that and how Kamala Harris just spiraled out of control during that time, let's hear what Beyonce had to say.
So happy to be standing here on this stage as proud country Texas women supporting and celebrating the one and only Vice President Kamala Harris. A woman who's been pushing for what this country really needs right now: unity. It's impossible not to feel the energy in this room, the positivity, the community, the humanity. We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. A mother who cares deeply about the world my children and all of our children live in. A world where we have the freedom to control our bodies. A world where we're not divided. Our past, our present, our future merge to meet us here.
Guys, I mean, you can't make this up. You know, Beyonce is a great entertainer, but did you feel like she believed in anything she was just saying on that stage? Clearly not. She was reading from a teleprompter, and she's doing a Kamala Harris where we know they're saying things they don't believe, right? And that's why I think people did not receive it very well. And pulling all the celebrities out to endorse you and campaign for you, we know that's not going to work for Kamala Harris. Hillary Clinton did the same thing, and we saw how that turned out. Joe Biden did not do the same thing, and we saw how that turned out. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and look at the first time people started to heckle Kamala Harris at the rally. Watch. Oh, okay. So clearly things are getting a little out of control, but it didn't happen once. It happened twice. Okay. And again, you cannot continue to lie to people, bait and switch them, and make them think that they're there to see Beyonce, which is why the place was packed. Let's be honest here. Okay. Most people did not want to see Kamala Harris. They want to see Beyonce and the other celebrities. But here's the second time. So I find it interesting that at a Trump rally, you would never find people protesting what he is saying. But this is starting to become a pattern for Kamala Harris. So, it's not a great look. Now, is it? And we know what the strategy is now at this point, which is to leverage the power of celebrities to get people to come out and vote. And so one must ask, why would she do a campaign rally in Houston? Well, it's clearly she's struggling in these larger cities. And we also know that she's struggling when it comes to these endorsements, like the Washington Post refusing to endorse her on that same day. I mean, Friday was a bad day for Kamala Harris. There's just no question. But don't tell MSNBC that, or should I say MSDNC that, because when people don't support Kamala Harris, they go to assassinating people's character. Watch this.
Look, I just, as someone who has been, seeking out endorsements from newspapers and being a Republican in the DMV is not the easiest thing in the world. So you never expect the Washington Post to endorse you. But this act of cowardice to me is just reprehensible, because all the bravado and all the BS that you put out there, democracy dies in darkness. Well, baby, you just turned out the lights, Bezos. You just turned out the lights for the Washington Post, because you were so afraid that, oh my God, Donald Trump is going to drag us. Donald Trump is going to come after my business. Here's the deal. If you can't handle it, sell the paper, because why did you own it in the first place if this is what you're going to do with it? Same with the LA Times. If you can't take that heat, then get out of that business, because it's not a business for you. You cannot bring that mindset. You don't have a journalistic mindset. You don't understand what the First Amendment means to the men and women who actually do that job every day. There's a reason why your newsroom right now is pissed off at you, dumb behind, because you're buckled. You put it on your masthead and then you took it down because you're afraid of Donald Trump.
Now, I want to show you that to you because that's the move that they go to, right? If you don't support Kamala Harris, then that means you're a sexist, you're misogynistic, you are a coon, you are a hypocrite, you're this, you're that. And it goes to the character assassinations, right? Instead of just saying, well, hey, if you don't want to vote for her, that's your opinion. Just like people who support Trump. If I run into someone who says they want to support Kamala Harris, fine. I mean, I'd like to know why, and I'd like you to explain it to me. But if you didn't want to, then that's on you, right? But it seems that the woke left takes everything very personal. And, it's like a complicated bunch, because why is it that you have someone like John Fetterman in Pennsylvania exposing what's about to happen to Kamala Harris? So while they're over here focused on people who refuse to support her, maybe they should be focusing on the people who do, and that they are sounding the alarm on her campaign. Talk about a contradiction of the message. Check this out.
She is running almost at a tie in your state. You've said that Trump has a special connection with the people of
100%.
Pennsylvania. Why? What is it that you see that he appeals to in your state?
There's a difference between not understanding, but also acknowledging that it exists. And anybody spends time driving around and you can see the intensity. It's astonishing. I was doing an event in Indiana County, very, very red. And there was a superstore of Trump stuff. And it was 100 feet long, and it was dozens of T-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and all kinds. I mean, it's like, where does this all come from? I mean, it was almost like like Taylor Swift kind of swag. It's like of everything. It wasn't just a sign. It's the kinds of thing that has taken on its own life on that. And it's like something very special exists there. And that doesn't mean that I admire it. It's just like, it's real.
Now there's one correction. That's all over America. I mean, you can go to every single state and you're going to catch a Trump store. There's plenty here in California, believe it or not. And so he's speaking to what I just laugh at when I hear the Democratic Party speak about Trump. They're just underestimating the support and the enthusiasm. It doesn't mean they have to agree, but that they recognize that it's there. It's just like they underestimate how many people are just fed up with the current economy. They keep denying reality. They don't want to accept it. They keep underappreciating how many people are fed up when it comes to border security, how many people are fed up with the foreign wars overseas. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but the Democratic Party, they just don't want to acknowledge that grievance or that pain. So needless to say, Friday was not a great day for Kamala Harris. Now, Trump did end the night by commenting on the rally where Beyonce was at for 60 seconds, even though everybody believed she was going to perform. I just think that's funny. But here's Trump's response to all that. Watch.
So Beyonce went up, spoke for a couple of minutes, and then left, and the place went crazy. They booed the hell out of everybody. They thought she was going to perform. Now, I would have no interest in that, but they said, and what happened is my opponent got up and started speaking. They booed the hell out of her. It's crazy. So they have to use people to get people to come, and then they send buses. We don't send buses. Everybody comes. We're just going to make America great again. It's very simple.
That's what Trump had to say, and here's what I have to say. Think about it. What does it say about your campaign when you have to keep bringing celebrities out to get people to show up to the rally? Then you know mainstream media is going to lie about the rally itself by saying, you know, that celebrity is going to perform, right? That's number two. Number three, isn't it interesting that Beyonce only spoke for 4 minutes total? I just find that to be interesting, but hey, maybe that doesn't mean anything, whatever. I also find it interesting that why would you host that rally in Houston? I'm just curious. I just want to know what the strategy is. I don't see how that helps her unless she has a turnout problem already in Houston. Not to mention she didn't get that Washington Post endorsement. Not to mention that Israel did retaliate against Iran last night. Not to mention that Trump went on Joe Rogan podcast. And I mean, that show is already at, I think, about 15 million views, and it's only been 12 hours. So, you know, it just wasn't a great day. I think her campaign is about to self-destruct. I really do believe that because she's doing everything that Hillary Clinton did, and it's not going to work. And I think it's 2024 where people see that a mile away. She's not real. She's fake. The people she brings up on stage, they're fake too. You really think that all these Hollywood celebrities believe what's coming out of their mouth? They know what it is. They're playing the game. They have to say what they got to say because most of these institutions and these industries are liberal. They're not going to come out and be a conservative. They're not going to come out and be an outsider. That takes a certain type of personality and character, in my opinion. So this isn't going to work for Kamala Harris, but that's what I think. So why don't you guys tell me about what you think about this whole bait and switch from Beyonce and the Kamala Harris campaign? You think that's really going to make an impact on how people feel about Kamala Harris? And what did you think about John Fetterman really accepting defeat in Pennsylvania? He sees what's about to happen. He recognizes the enthusiasm. The one thing that I was very enthused about, and I'm sure you are too, or when Donald Trump went on to the Joe Rogan podcast for 3 hours. If you haven't seen my initial reaction to that, all you have to do is click on the video that's coming up right now.